NASCAR is doing another short track test at Phoenix for the short track package to try to figure out how to make the short track racing better in the next gen car. Why they chose Phoenix, I don't know. It's not like it's the week after Phoenix. It's been 4 weeks since Phoenix has been done. 5 weeks maybe. Let's call it 4. Let's be nice. Interesting. Anyways, this has been scheduled for a while now. They're trying a variety of things. That will probably be a separate video if we do indeed talk about the test. But there's something else that we are going to talk about instead. As everyone knows at this point, if you don't, breaking news for you, Legacy Motor Club, formerly known as Petty GMS, formerly known as Richard Petty Motorsports, is now going to be running Toyotas in the NASCAR Cup Series. Well, they have their first new sponsor. This sponsor used to be at Trackhouse. Before that, it was at Chip Ganassi Racing. And of course, with Trackhouse getting a new sponsor in Busch Beer, they kind of had to move things around. And someone who got moved out was AdventHealth. AdventHealth, we saw them on a variety of drivers' cars. Obviously, with Trackhouse, we saw them with Ross Chastain. Even back when he was at Chip Ganassi, remember back in one of the first next-gen tests, Chip Ganassi Racing did a next-gen test, and they had the number 42 AdventHealth car on a next-gen car. That was weird looking. But no. Anyways, then, before that, I could name all the drivers, but some other random ones. We saw Jamie McMurray make a one-off in the Daytona 500. I think that was technically with Spire, but he had AdventHealth. We saw Kurt Busch with AdventHealth. We saw Kyle Larson win an all-star race with the AdventHealth. So Chip Ganassi Racing, Trackhouse, Chevy. They've been with the two Chevy teams, even though those teams were pretty close together because, of course, Trackhouse bought out Chip Ganassi Racing. But now they have decided to move on, or they have been let go, whatever the terminology is. And they have decided to pick Legacy Motor Club as the next team they are going to sponsor. They're going to sponsor Erik Jones and, of course, Jimmie Johnson, who will be running a part-time schedule once again this upcoming year. Here's what the press release said and some of the details we actually get to know about what Jimmie Johnson's doing next year. Legacy Motor Club today announced the club will join forces with AdventHealth in 2024 to field the number 43 Toyota Camry XSE for driver Erik Jones in 6 NASCAR Cup Series races, including the season-opening 2024 Daytona 500. Additionally, AdventHealth will compete in 3 events with 7-time NASCAR Cup Series champion Jimmie Johnson behind the wheel of the number 84 Toyota Camry XSE at Texas Motor Speedway, Charlotte Motor Speedway, and in the AdventHealth 400 at Kansas Speedway in 2024. So yes, here is the Erik Jones look. This is the only look of the car we have so far. Not a lot of pictures from testing yet. I'm sure there will be more. I think Legacy said they would release more pictures of this car at 7:30 tonight Eastern time. So you got to wait however many hours it is. I can't see my clock from over here. However many hours that is, you got to wait till tonight basically. As for Jimmie Johnson and the rest of this press release, yeah. So AdventHealth joining Legacy Motor Club, obviously keeping a sponsor in the Cup Series. It's been in it since, I think they said in this press release, since 2015. It's a really good thing to see. Yeah, they switched teams, but they're still in it. They're still going to sponsor 2 cars for a good chunk of the schedule. It's good to see. We don't talk about sponsorship that much on here. We talk about it a little bit. But as I said, to keep any sponsor in it, regardless of who it is, whether it's AdventHealth, whether it's McDonald's, whether it's some small company you've never heard of, it's just really good to see sponsors stay in NASCAR for a good period of time. No, the AdventHealth being with Chip Ganassi Racing, Trackhouse, it wasn't like a Jimmie Johnson Lowe's thing. It wasn't like a Kyle Busch M&M's thing, It wasn't the most iconic paint scheme ever, nothing like that, but to keep them in the Cup Series is a good thing to see. As for the new look on the 43 car, seeing the 43 on a Toyota is a little bit weird. Even though we only have seen the front of the car, it is still a little bit weird. It's going to take some getting used to. The new Toyota body is still a look. I'm still not used to that one. I still like the old one as of today. But as for the AdventHealth on the Toyota, as I said, it's not like a Jimmie Johnson Lowe's. It's not like a, the Home Depot and the 20 car. It's not going to be like super odd to see that sponsor on a different manufacturer. So I'm not going to lose sleep over it. But from the front, it looks fine. Some other drivers got new paint schemes today, but we won't talk about those till calendar 2024 until I do my paint scheme preview for the season. So if you really care, if you really want to look, go look it up yourself. The drivers are Chase Elliott and Chris Buescher. They have their new paint schemes for 2024. They're actually both pretty good looking. But yeah, as for the Jimmie Johnson thing, I will say I'm not surprised. Some of you may be surprised. I am not surprised to see Jimmie Johnson running 1.5 miles. Toyota's strength is 1.5 miles. Legacy Motor Club is now Toyota. Once again, breaking news. If you did not know that, that's breaking news for you. Breaking news. Anyways, Jimmie Johnson being at 1.5 miles. Jimmie Johnson, of course, 2 of these 3 tracks he used to own. Charlotte, he has a ton of wins there. Texas, he won like 6 out of 8 races there in a 5-year span or something crazy like that. I mean, seriously, I grew up at Texas Motor Speedway. You almost went to the track knowing Jimmie Johnson would win. It's like going to an F1 race and knowing Max Verstappen's going to win. That's what it was like going to Texas. He won like 4 straight fall races and a couple of spring races. It was genuinely insane, the run he went on there from 2012 to 2017, 2016 or something. So no surprise to see him pick those tracks. And then obviously Charlotte, the Coca-Cola 600. As I said, he used to own that track, has a ton of wins there, but also it's a crown jewel in NASCAR as well. And then Kansas, AdventHealth sponsors that race, the spring race they have for a couple of years now. Always have an AdventHealth car in that field, so no surprise to see them have another one. And for it to be Jimmie Johnson, I think he only had a couple of wins there, so not as dominant as his run at Texas or Charlotte, but still a track that treated him well that he got a couple of wins at. As for other races for Jimmie Johnson, I'm not sure where he will be. Will he be at the Daytona 500? Maybe. Will he be racing at COTA again? I don't know. Will he get to race the Chicago Street Race this year? I don't know. But the point of this video was new sponsor at Legacy Motor Club. We now know Jimmie Johnson, part of his schedule next year. That's going to be Texas in April, right? I think it's April. We're going to see him at Kansas in April or May, and then we're going to see him in the Coke 600 in May. So we now know 3 of Jimmie Johnson's races in 2024, and we know Eric Jones is going to have some races with AdventHealth. We know Jimmie Johnson's going to be sponsored by AdventHealth. So AdventHealth moves from Trackhouse to Pegasus. I almost said Petty Legacy and Pegasus. I'm still not used to calling them Legacy Motor Club, guys. I'm sorry. Anyways, Legacy Motor Club now has AdventHealth. Jimmie Johnson, part of his schedule revealed. Thank you for watching this video. Any other news, I will let you know. As I said, for paint schemes, I may occasionally post them in the community post, but we're not doing a full-blown paint scheme until 2024 rolls around, so you got to wait at least 26 days for that. We won't actually be doing it on New Year's Day, but it'll probably be mid to late January that we talk about paint schemes. But I always love paint schemes. We'll talk about more of them, as I said, and once we get this full one, I may post it on the community post tonight. Any scheduling updates on the channel, I'll let you know in the community post too. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Have a great rest of your day.